Shalom, shalom. This is Rabbi Simon Altaf, your host, with some more secrets from the Bible. Now, there's a lot of things that other cultures do, but there's a lot of things that the biblical culture did in the past that are either kind of forgotten, or they're overlooked, or they're just ignored because many people don't know, or they have lost those practices because of, various reasons. Historical fog, historical amnesia, whatever you want to call it. Today we're going to look at salt. Now, salt is something mentioned in the Bible. If you read the book of Leviticus anytime, if you ever dare to read it, it's actually considered one of the holiest books of the Bible. If you ever read it, it talks about salt, to sprinkle salt on the sacrifices that happened in the ancient temple, in the ancient tabernacle. If you then move fast forward, Ezekiel talks about salt in a way to cleanse a baby. So clearly there is a link with salt historically, and if you fast forward, there's a link with salt over there. Now if you fast forward to Jesus of Nazareth's time, then there's another link with salt where he speaks about salt, and he says to his disciples that you're the salt of the earth, and then he likens them to salt. So therefore, all these analogies and all these things have a purpose. And I want to show you a few things that will help you in your lives. One of the things that you should be doing, if you're believers, whether you're not believers, God is not racist. God doesn't care whether you're Muslim, Christian, Hindu, and all those things. Whatever religious beliefs you hold, God's laws permeate the whole universe. So therefore, God doesn't discriminate between what clothes you wear, to how you dress, and to what your faith practices are. In other words, God's laws are immutable, and they will remain immutable. In other words, they do not change, and they will never change for no person. So this is, by the way, one of God's laws, but it's rarely spoken about, rarely talked about, and rarely understood by let me say church at large, including the synagogue. So one of the things you could do is take salt, regular salt. You take regular salt and you put it in a pouch, like make a little cloth pouch, and you put it in your living room on your shelf or on one side of the floor. What is the purpose of that salt? Well, what the salt will do, it has some physical properties, as you know, and it also has spiritual properties. Salt will help to clean the negativity in the room. And if you take salt and you sprinkle it on your doors, on your doorposts, on your outside of your door, on the floor, on wherever your external gates are, where your home opens up into the yard, the garden, if you put salt on there, it keeps negativity away. It keeps the enemies away. And salt has many other purposes, but I'm not going to go into those because this is not a scientific lecture. It's nothing to do with science. This is to do with biblical spirituality. This is to do with biblical faith and ancient practices of our people that have kind of been lost out over time. However, in the East, these practices are still retained. So salt is one of those practices. So if you take the salt, now you may ask what kind of salt? Well, to put it in your home, regular salt, the one that you buy from your superstores, your Walmart, Tesco's, Sainsbury's, etc. Now, there is another use of salt. And another use of salt is the fact that, as you know, the Messiah spoke about salt, and he said, you're the salt of the earth. And if salt loses its flavor, then what's the use of salt? So in other words, salt has a power infused within it that can broaden the person's power as well. So this will definitely bring abundance into your life, remove negativities. But one of the things that you can do with salt also is that a lot of the times, you may be struggling in your life and you may have issues and you may say, oh, I don't know, something is up, this is not working for me, that is not working for me. What do I do? So the problem will likely be yourself. You'll be carrying negativities in yourself. You'll be maybe attached to negative people. One of the things that you could do with salt is, again, for this bathing side, I would take sea salt, pink salt, or maybe Epsom salts. And what I would do is fill a bathtub, half fillet if you like, sprinkle salt in there, and you will get into that salt. After you kind of kick-started the water, you'll get into the salt, and it will cleanse your impurities. It will remove negativities from your body as well. So it's very important for you to do that. If you're carrying negativities, you probably likely are, and it will help in that area, and it will allow you to move forward. One of the things that we do, if you know in the past, whenever we had a drink, when we had juice, when we had water, we always blessed our water. We always blessed our drink. So it's very important that, especially when you're going to go into a bath and you're going to have your bath, it's good to bless that water first. You bless that water, and then you get into that water, and that will really have huge benefits for you. And if you put the salt in your living room, change it every 2 to 3 months. Just drop the old salt out, put new salt in, keep it in your home, only in one room, your main living room, main living space, and you will then see that the tremendous benefits that this salt has spiritually, physically, and you will see it for yourself, and you can report back. You can write on the comments, and I guess you could subscribe to the video by clicking on the like button and the bell icon if you like. And so as I will try and make helpful videos that help our people, help generally people out there who are looking for abundance in their life, salt is one of them. There is a second item that you should put in your home, which will bring in abundance as well. That is rice. You take any white rice, you again put them in a pouch similar to this, and you stick them in one corner of your house. Don't ever cook them, because rice will last a long time. A rice will not go off after 1 year even. So you keep those rice, and they will bring abundance into your home, abundant living. Because what is the message of the Bible? What is the message of Jesus of Nazareth? Churches only hone in on sin and sin and sin and sin and going to hell and going to hell. They never talk about living. We need to talk about living. What is the message of the Bible? The message of the Bible is life, health, and abundance. So with that in mind, that if you do these things, these principles, you will find that abundance will flow into your homes. You will be benefited, you'll be blessed, and it's great. That is what God wants for your life. God wants your life to be fulfilled. God doesn't want you to always be worrying about, well, I'm a sinner, what I'm going to do, and how am I going to do this? You see, that's theology. I'm trying to move away from that part to bring you into the correct side, where God wants you first to give you life. God wants to give you blessings. And, there are people out there that don't believe in God, and fair enough to them if they don't believe in God. But I will say to you that this is what you can do, and this will bring you into the knowledge of the infinite intelligence up there, which we call God. Other people may call by different names. So I thank you for listening to this. Rabbi Simon, your host. Shalom, shalom.